last thing that I usually compress in the rhythm section is the bass. Guitars can be compressed a fair bit as well, but you don't always. The distorted guitars already have a bit of compression on them, so it's not as noticeable, but it does help to give them their spot in the mix and not change that much at all in level. So we will do that eventually, but for now we'll just I want to put a compressor on the bass. Same sort of principle as for the kick and the snare. We'll set a fairly high 15:1 ratio and then bring down the threshold. And this is also to give the bass more punch, but also to make it solid in the mix, so that it's not varying in level. Now the gain reduction meter is constantly on, which means we've sort of got an offset compression. It's not really what we want. We want it to get a chance to get back to no reduction, but not for too long. If it's off for too long, if it's not reducing, it means we're going below the threshold a fair bit. So to get that to work, you adjust the threshold, keep bringing the threshold up until you're seeing this red reduction mark going off for a little bit, but not for a long time. And you bring up about 6 decibels of output makeup. And you'll find that the rhythm section has a lot more impact now, and it sounds bigger. I haven't used any equalizer on the rhythm section yet, but that's the next step. Something interesting is to create a bus for effects like reverb and delay or chorus, or doesn't work so well with standard compressing, but we can also put a compressor in a bus. In Reaper, you simply make a new track and you can send things to that track, and it's just like having an auxiliary channel. So I'll call this reverb. And then we'll add a plugin, a reverb plugin to the track, and I'm going to turn the direct completely off on the reverb. I've got the output set to purely to effect. A large room, quite a bit of dampening, overall dampening, no early reflections, no pre-delay, high damp, about 70%, low cut, not much low cut, but the high cut I want to, we don't have high cut in this one, but we've got a high damp, so the high frequencies will be cut fairly soon. Now with the vocal, I can put a bit of reverb on that by sending it to the reverb channel, which is done through the send slot in the channel. And you can just select here a new send, and then because I've named it, makes it easier. I can just see down there it's reverb, and the result is that reverb channel is now being fed the vocal channel, and they're both being output to the stereo bus. So I'm just turning down the amount that I'm sending to the reverb unit. Now there's two different ways you can send stuff to another channel. You can send it post or pre-fader. If I send it pre-fader, you'll hear that even if I turn the volume fader down on the vocal. So all we're hearing now is just pure reverb. Which is handy if you wanted to hear just what the reverb quality sounds like. That's a lot of reverb on there, so I'm going to bring that back. Shouldn't necessarily hear the reverb. This is without it. That's with it. That's pretty much it for a very simple mix with some compression, some equalisation on the guitars, and a bit of reverb. Now, I could have just inserted that reverb onto the vocal track, but I wanted to have a general purpose reverb that I can get a good sound on, and then I can use it for other instruments. So, for example, I can go over to all of the guitars and give them the same reverb by making a new send and send that channel to the reverb channel. And then in Reaper you can easily just drag things that are slotted into all of the other tracks, and it copies them automatically. And we have 4 guitar tracks there. Now I'll just take the guitar tracks off. And bring them back up to taste. With the acoustics, I'll bring them in slightly from hard left and right panning. Give them their own space. And one last thing I'd probably do would be to compress the lead vocal. This is a different approach to the percussive compression, or the type of compressor I used on the percussion instruments. We don't want this to be noticeable too much. We want it to level out the vocal, keep the vocal up at the forefront of the mix, but we don't want it to sound like it's been squashed. So we set a lot less compression ratio, start at maybe 4, and then find a point where it's operating a lot of the time. Allow a bit of attack, but not as much. You don't want to let too much of the vocal get through that uncompressed, so we have a bit more attack on this one. And then just need to give it a couple of decibels. And our vocal will sit more prominently in the mix. And you can't really tell that it's been compressed much.